Before the Four Perils were monsters, before China feared them, one of them was a boy. A boy so stubborn that the gods themselves gave up on teaching him. His name was Taowu. Picture what that means. In the oldest Chinese histories, there's a child who will not learn. Tell him the right thing, and he grows defiant. Leave him alone, and he turns vicious. He breaks the natural order on purpose, and the world calls him a monster for it. For 2,000 years, that was one of the four most feared creatures in the Chinese imagination, not because it was strong, but because it refused, absolutely and forever, to bend. Now here's the part that should stop you. The West has 1,000 stubbornness stories: the rebel, the fool, the hero who won't listen. But none of them became a literal beast. China took the one child who wouldn't be taught and turned him into a tiger with a human face, a boar's tusks, and a tail 18 feet long. So the question isn't just who Taowu was. It's why a civilization chose to remember stubbornness as a monster at all. For 2,000 years, this beast was treated as fact. Let's find out what it was really built from. So what does the refusal actually look like, made flesh? The later, fuller text paints the picture. In the wilds of the West, a beast, shaped like a tiger, but covered in coarse dog-like hair 2 feet long. A human face sits where a tiger's muzzle should be. Tiger's claws. A boar's mouth, and tusks. And a tail, some say 10 feet, some say 18, a whip of muscle dragging the wastelands behind it. Imagine that silhouette. A tiger's heavy, low body, but the head is wrong, a man's face, set with a beast's crimson eyes, a pig's jaw hanging open to show the teeth. The fur isn't sleek, it's bristled, coarse, the hair of something that doesn't groom, doesn't care. And the tail, that impossible tail, isn't decoration. In the old illustrations it's the tail that does the damage, sweeping the barren earth clean of anything living. What's striking is how the description resists majesty. The dragon is sublime. The phoenix is beautiful. Taowu is none of that. He's built to be disliked: coarse hair, a heavy predator's gait, a man's face wearing an animal's malice. The ancients didn't draw a magnificent monster. They drew a disappointment, and that tells you what they feared, not the sublime, but the will that will not yield. But here is the secret the beast hides, and it's the strangest part of the whole story. Before he was a beast, Taowu was a person. The historian Zhuanxu, writing in the 4th century BC, tells us exactly who. Taowu was a son of Zhuanxu, one of the great god kings of ancient China, a ruler counted among the 5 emperors. And this particular son was impossible. He cannot be taught. He will not learn language. Advise him, and he grows stubborn; leave him, and he turns vicious. He defied right and wrong, and threw the natural order into chaos. Read that again. This isn't a monster born in a swamp. This is a parenting tragedy written 2.5 millennia ago. The boy won't take instruction. He won't speak the way he's supposed to. He meets correction with defiance and absence with cruelty. And the people who wrote him down gave him a name that meant the untamable. So what happened to the Untamable One? The same sage king who dealt with the other 3 perils, Shun, the model ruler, cast Taowu out, banished to the farthest wilderness, the edge of the known world. And in the retelling, the stubborn child didn't just leave. He hardened. The boy who wouldn't bend became a beast that couldn't. The human face stayed, set now on a tiger's head, a permanent record of what he'd been. If you're new to the Shanhaijing, hit subscribe now. The beasts only get stranger from here, and the Four Perils series start with Zhuanxu is next. Now, 2 different ancient books describe the same creature from 2 completely different angles, and the gap between them is the whole point. One book is the Zhuanxu, the great commentary on the spring and autumn annals. It remembers the boy. It gives us the human story, the son of Zhuanxu, the one who could not be taught, the untamable. It's a character study, really. A failed son, written down as a warning. The other book is the Shanhaijing, the classic of marvels. And it forgets the boy entirely. It describes only the beast, the tiger shape in the western wastes, the human face, the boar's tusks, the dragging tail. A monster roaming, no backstory, no sympathy. Same monster. Two memories. One of a failed child. One of a roaming demon. And that doubling is exactly what Taowu is about. He's what happens when a mind will not bend, first a disappointment to the people who raised him, then a danger to the people who exiled him. The child becomes the cautionary tale, becomes the beast. By the time the second book is written, nobody even remembers he was ever a boy. Here is the detail that should make you put the book down for a second. In ancient China, every state kept its official history, and they gave those histories the names of monsters. The state of Jin called its annals the chariot. The state of Lu called its annals the spring and autumn. And the southern kingdom of Chu, the great rival in the south, named its official history after this beast. They called their history the Taowu. Stop and feel that. The Untamable One. The monster no one could teach. The child who broke the natural order. That name became the title of the book that remembered a civilization's past. Think about what that means. A creature defined by refusing to learn was chosen to carry the memory of an entire culture. The beast who would not be taught became the one who was taught to everyone who came after. It's almost a joke the ancients didn't intend. The most stubborn thing in the myth ended up as the thing that preserves everything. Or maybe it isn't a joke. Maybe naming your history after the Untamable One was a warning that memory itself is stubborn, that the past refuses to be erased, that what you throw to the wilderness comes back as the record you can't burn. Step back from China, and you find Taoist twins everywhere. The Greeks had a word ate for the blind, stubborn force inside a person that refuses correction and drags heroes to ruin. It isn't a monster. It's a state of soul, a pride that won't listen, and the Greeks feared it as the root of every tragedy. The Norse feared the wolf Fenrir, the one who would not be bound, who broke every chain and swallowed the world at the end of time. Even the Bible calls a whole people stiff-necked, a will that will not bow. Why does every culture dream the same warning? Because stubbornness is the one monster we all meet, and we meet it inside ourselves. Not the flood. Not the serpent. But the part of you that knows it's wrong and refuses to turn anyway. Taowu is just the shape China gave to that universal dread. A tiger with your face, wearing your refusal, dragging a tail that sweeps your better nature into the dirt. And that's why he lasts. The flood gets managed. The serpent gets slain. But the stubbornness, that one you carry. So the beast with the human face was never really about a boy in 1000 BC. It was about the thing in you that won't yield. But pause on the verdict. Who decided Taowu was untamable? Look at the evidence. The boy was stubborn. He wouldn't perform the obedience his world demanded. He met correction with defiance. But won't learn and can't learn are not the same thing, and the texts never ask which one it was. They just sentenced him. Here's the uncomfortable reading. The same sages who built the order he broke are the ones who wrote him down as a monster. In the ancient histories, the stubborn child is a villain, but read closely, he's also the one who wouldn't perform obedience to power. And the beast, the tiger with the human face and the boar's tusks, is what authority calls anyone it cannot mold. The tail that sweeps the earth clean? That's what a ruling order does to the person who won't fit inside it. History, remember, is written by those who won. And the boy who wouldn't learn their lessons didn't just get exiled. He got rewritten, from a difficult child into a demon with a tiger's claw. The Untamable One was untamable to them. To someone else, he might just have been free. So here is where the Four Perils end. For beings, cast out to the edges of the world, a glutton who could never be filled, a beast that punished the good and paid the wicked, a faceless god who died of kindness, and a stubborn child who would not be taught. The ancients feared them as monsters. But for 3,000 years, they remembered them as warnings about appetite, about justice, about chaos, and about the part of us that simply refuses to bend. Maybe the perils were never just beasts. Maybe they were the things every civilization has to name to survive itself. And maybe Taowu, the boy with the human face, the one who wouldn't yield, is the most honest of them all. Because his monster is the one you still carry, every time you dig in, every time you refuse to turn. If you followed the Four Perils from Zhuanxu to here, thank you. The whole series lives on this channel, and it's the strangest mythology you've probably never heard. Next, we turn to new beasts of the classic of mountains and seas, but that's a story for another day. Until then, question the monster. And question who named it. If made you see an ancient story in a new light, subscribe and tap the bell so the next beast reaches you first. Next time, the whole Four Perils series start with Zhuanxu. Until then, thanks for listening.